Hey, welcome to episode 3 with Whiskey Disc. Today we're going to warm up with whiskey, and we're going to try something different. It's going to be a 5 mini episode release, right? So that each episode is about 3 to 5 minutes to give you time to process, digest, right? Nobody really wants to sit through a 20-minute YouTube clip of just me talking. So we're going to mix it up today. So for our warm up, right, we'll try, the goal of a warm up is to activate and stimulate, not annihilate. So we want to prep for that upcoming round, and we want to make sure we're activating through an explosive hip hinge pattern, some kind of overhead or upper body type explosive pattern, right? We're throwing discs with our arms. So we want to make sure those are good to go. We're going to isolate an upper body movement, isolate a lower body movement, and then make sure we activate the core in all 3 directions. And then we also take some time to just get some little reset stretches to make sure that we have unlocked our body's current range of motion right before we step out on the course. So I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, so for our warm-up today, or really for anything, there's a little bit of equipment that I would recommend. There's plenty of substitutions that you can do, but the first thing that we're going to be using today is a kettlebell, right? Just a standard 26-pound kettlebell. If you don't want to haul one of those to and from the course or in your car, you can get sandbag kettlebells. Amazon has some. I'll link those below. They're pretty good. The handles aren't as tight to the bell, so they do flop a little bit on certain movements, but they're not bad. I would also recommend getting a lightweight slam ball. Don't go buy the $80 Dynamax unless you have one. But we are going to be slamming. You can also just ball up a sweatshirt just so you have something to grab and provide a little bit of resistance as we work through our exercises. Mini bands. Can't stress these enough. These are great. They can warm up your upper body, your lower body. And then as far as some extra resistance bands, right, a nice 1/4 inch resistance band is always nice to have. And they don't take up a ton of space. And then maybe a 1/2 inch resistance band. If they come in a set, love that. The 2-inch band will be phenomenal for later videos when we're talking about recovery and stretching. So 4 different pieces of equipment, 5 different pieces of equipment. They don't take up a ton of space, and they will be incredibly beneficial for other things as well, not just our warm-up series. All right, here we are, round 1 of the Warming Up with Whiskey series. We're just gonna start right with some front to back hops. So just find a line on the ground, hopping forward and backward. So you can see it from the side. 5 each way. Just start getting those ankles firing up, those quick reactors. Turn on those proprioceptors for us today. All right, as mentioned, we're gonna use kettlebells as an explosive hip hinge pattern. So we're gonna start with some single arm kettlebell swings, 3 to 5 on each side, just getting those hips to fire, right? And then from the side. So you can see how that looks, nothing crazy. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that kind of deal more of the finer coaching points for a kettlebell swing. For our for our upper body explosive movement, overhead med ball slams, nice and tall, raising up on the toes and slamming that med ball. 3 to 5 reps. For our overhead isolation today, we're gonna take the mini band and we're gonna row, we're gonna victory raise, and we're gonna overhead press. So for the row, out in front, pressure against it, rowing. For that victory raise, still pressing out, taking it overhead. And then for that overhead press, again, pressing out overhead, sliding behind the neck, letting those scaps rotate up and down. If you want to save time, you can put these all together into one movement. Row, raise, press, return. And that's our upper body isolation. for our lower body isolation. We're going to take our band, we're going to put it around the knees, and we're just going to clamshell. Working those abductors. And we're going to flip over, take that band off, cross that leg in front, taking that lower leg and just lifting, working our adductors, little Copenhagen. And that is our lower body isolation. For our core, we're going to get into a push-up position plank, and we're just going to hold. We're going to squeeze that core nice and tight, 12 to 15 seconds. We're done. Relax. And we're going to raise up into a nice downward dog, stretching out the hamstrings, the calves. You can alternate between into a nice single leg. And that's round one.